Okay, we live. Okay, this is awkward occurrence or awkward entertainment.
Is it that has you so angry? Is it the attackers?
It's the attackers, but it's also the attacks. It's like, you know, at first it was a thing of like, listen, if I tell the truth, then that's it, because it's the truth. Mm-hmm. Then it became a thing of like, oh, how can you doubt that? Like, how do you not believe that? It's the truth. And then it became a thing of like, oh, it's not necessarily that you don't believe that this is the truth.
All right, it's Hot 97, Blake.
Your Honor, at this time, the people would ask that Mr. Simpson step forward and try on the glove recovered at Bundy as well as the glove recovered at Rockingham.
And I think so the jury can see, I'll ask Mr. Simpson to stand. That's People 77. Right.
Have a problem placing the glove on his hand.
Sustained. This is People's 164A. Is that the right-hand glove? All right. All right. Thank you, counsel.
Thank you for coming today. We thank you for your patience as we work diligently to piece together what led to Gannon's disappearance. Our speakers today will be Sheriff Bill Elder, Lieutenant Mitch Mahalko, FBI Denver Division Special Agent in Charge, Dean Phillips, District Attorney Dan May, and Senior Deputy District Attorney Michael Allen. We will not be taking any questions at the conclusion of the press conference. However, I will be reading a statement from Gannon's father, Al. Laden may not speak. Please respect the family's request for privacy as they begin to absorb and process the devastating news they have received today.
Because this is a child. You're telling me that you're just as mean, you're just as hateful to talk about someone else like that. That's how I feel. Like, we should all come together and wait until the end and see what happens, because Gannon's going to come home.
Any message for Gannon?
The message for Gannon I have is, Gannon, when you get here, you'll be able to truly tell what happened. And then I really hope I get a sincere apology from everyone who has made all those things, especially from my husband. We just wanted to add a message to Gannon from my family, is that we love you and miss you. And we hope that you come home soon. And Gannon, I can't wait till you can come home and let everyone know that you're okay.
I get it down. Anxiously, the public can't wait.
I thought this was America, people. Yeah. Guilty until proven innocent, huh? That's how we working, huh? Okay. Before me there was many. After me there would be none. I am the one.
In the Circuit Court for the 9th Judicial Circuit in and for Orange County, Florida. State of Florida versus Casey Marie Anthony. As to case number 2008 CF 15606-0. As to the charge of first-degree murder, verdict as to count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty, so say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, on this 5th day of July, 2011, signed foreperson.
Really, I'm not in the correct mindset to be even standing up here, but if I had to say one thing, that when he said Gannon is no longer with us, I'd have to say Gannon is with us. After the stories of people from all over the world, he's not only my hero now, he's the world's hero. So I think the community, the positive support from a state that I've never visited other than 2 or 3 times, I'm astounded by the amount of love that's not come from me. It's came from my boy. And never thought I'd be standing here. It was a nightmare. I've had to put trust in the people I don't know. Today, I got the worst news and the best news. Obviously, we know what the worst news is, but the best news is that justice will be served. And I'll make sure that justice is served, because my boy did not deserve any of this that has happened to him. So I urge media one more time just to hold off on questions until we know that this person, the stepmom that I even trusted, that she will pay 100% for this heinous thing she done. And I know that that's going to will be done. So I ask you guys, I beg and plead, if you've known or if you see this story, all of you have seen this story, please hold that very close to you.
As to the charge of aggravated child abuse, verdict as to count 2. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty. So say we all. Dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, this 5th day of July, 2011, signed 4-person.
For 3 years, the mystery of Kaylee Anthony's death, well, it captivated people around the country. As you've seen, the reaction has been incredible. So it's no wonder there were so many strong reactions to this verdict. I think that was one of the things. It was kind of a collective gasp that we heard yesterday, Erica, when that decision finally came down. Why don't I right now just take a quick look at some of the reaction nationwide at this trial from start to finish. Take a look, and then we'll come back.
I'm done. Okay, what is the 3-year-old's name? Kaylee, C-A-Y-L-E-E, Anthony.
This case has stirred deep emotions here in Orlando.
The trial continues to captivate people following online and on television.
I started following it the very first day.
They were still just as eager to get an inside spot to see the courtroom drama unfold.
People don't make accidents look like murder.
Justice for Kaylee! Justice for Kaylee!
Will the defendant rise along with counsel?
Okay, I see how we playing. Yeah, I get it down. Anxiously, the public can't wait. Had to have it way before its release date. Jigga get irate, press get it f***ed up. Took me 1.8, but I had to get it straight. Get the CD, 12-inch vinyl, get the tape. Jigga give it food for thought, dog. Get a plate, I get it down. Get it crunk when I get in a state of mind. It was mine, it's mine. Nobody get the take. I don't bend, break, fold, scratch, go down my mental.
That's just kind of the way it is right now. There is still a little girl here who is dead, and that is what this is, the centerpiece of this entire thing. I guess the question is, where does this go now? Because there's still so many questions that remain.
Well, I think for Casey, that's the big question. Where is she going to go? Where is she going to live? You know, the family dynamics are now completely in upheaval. I was thinking about that myself last night. I mean, this is a girl who doesn't have a car or a pair of shoes or anything. Where is she going to go? Everyone hates her so much. Looking at that tape, it is amazing how invested everyone is. But they have really been following this, and they feel very invested in it.
Well, people, I think the general consensus is probably that people feel that she got away with murder. How do you overcome something like that?
Yeah, I don't know that you do. I mean, she's going to have a very tough time now because, you know, people were very agitated to begin with. And now she's, you know, the state really did not have an ironclad case. That was the problem. Like I said, it wasn't about whether she did it. It was whether it was done at all. You know, was it an accident? Was it murder?
Bell 50,000 still riding with. I ain't trying to collide with folk, but I don't want folk taking Jigga for joke. I guess you just will. Good morning.
No, you can't touch me. Try to charge me, but I'm not guilty. I've got all of my mommy. Tell me what y'all want from me. I'm not guilty.
I see how you're coming at me now. I'm cool.
All right, Mr. Simpson, would you please stand and face the jury? Mrs. Robertson.
Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson, case number BA097211. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Nicole Brown Simpson, a human being, as charged in count 1 of the information.
And Jack Ford is with us now, along with criminologist Casey Jordan. Good to have both of you back to talk about this with us. Jack, from day one, you said to us you think that she'll be acquitted. Clearly, public perception, as we just saw, did not agree with you, but it doesn't come into play here.
Not so much that I thought she'd be acquitted, but we said, right here on the show 2 years ago, we said this is going to be a very tough case for the prosecution here. Even the prosecutor acknowledged that, because even though there is so much about Casey Anthony in terms of was she a despicable mother, was she a horrible person here, and I think they proved that. You still, to get a murder conviction, you have to prove that it was a murder. Now, it's very difficult, not impossible, to get a murder conviction without proving a cause of death, but it's really difficult. And here, that was the big hurdle for the prosecution from the very beginning. They couldn't prove how this child died. And if you can't, I don't think the jury even got to the point where they started looking at, her motive. By the way, you don't have to prove a motive in a murder case, but it's helpful. But I don't think the jury even got there. And I think if we ever hear from them, what you're going to hear is what we've said from the very beginning. This was a very, very difficult case for the prosecution.
Tell me what you want from me. Not guilty. I am the one. You can't touch me. You can't touch me. Oh, said Jiggle Kelly, not innocent.
He has been found innocent.
Not guilty. I got all my mommy.
Jigger Kelly, not guilty. I'm so happy he got free. I knew he wasn't guilty. I knew it all along. I felt it. I just knew.
Jigger, I think you straight up, bro. What's poppin', man? One love.
Superior Court of the State of California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the people of the State of California versus Orenthal James Simpson. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Ronald Lyle Goldman, a human being, as charged in count 2 of the information. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, further find the special circumstance that the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, has in this case been convicted of at least one crime of murder of the first degree and one or more crimes of murder of the first or second degree to be not true. Signed this second day of October 1995, Juror 230. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is this your verdict? So say you one, so say you all.
And thoughtful analysis that says, here's the strengths and weaknesses of both sides here. Everybody doesn't have to take a side.
And you had that, and Cheney Mason, who brought that up yesterday, because a lot of what they were talking about after the trial was the media assassination and how every day it was more, okay, who won in court today? And more of a kind of playing this like a ball game type thing, playing it as a win and loss type of issue, and that's a problem because, like you said, for 2.5 years, this woman has been persecuted publicly by pundits out there that have their views.
Well, that's true, but Cheney Mason loves the Fifth Amendment and the 14th Amendment for his client. He has to take the Constitution with the First Amendment, which does allow media coverage of these cases. We have public trials so that there are no Spanish Inquisitions, and he can call it a witch hunt, but he should be very happy that the media got what it wanted and he got what he wanted in the end. So he can walk away with the idea that the system does indeed work.
Does she walk away tomorrow?
I think she probably does. I think she's done 3 years already. If he stacks everything on top and gives her 4 years, she's probably going to get out on time spent. Maybe do a little bit, but
In the Circuit Court for the 9th Judicial Circuit in and for Orange County, Florida. State of Florida versus Casey Marie Anthony. As to case number 2008 CF 15606-0. As to the charge of first-degree murder, verdict as to count 1, We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty, so say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, on this 5th day of July, 2011, signed foreperson. As to the charge of aggravated child abuse, verdict as to count 2. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty, so say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, this 5th day of July, 2011, signed foreperson. As to the charge of aggravated manslaughter of a child, verdict as to count 3. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty, so say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, this 5th day of July, 2011, signed foreperson. As to the charge of providing false information to a law enforcement officer, verdict as to count 4. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of providing false information to a law enforcement officer as charged in the indictment. So say we all, dated Orlando, Orange County, Florida, this 5th day of July, 2011, signed foreperson. As to the charge of providing false information to a law enforcement officer, verdict as to count 5. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of providing false information to a law enforcement officer as charged in the indictment. So say we all, dated Orlando, Orange County, Florida, this 5th day of July, 2011, signed for.
The mugshot for Letecia will be available on our social media platforms as soon as she is formally booked into the Horry County Sheriff's Office detention facility. I do have press packets available for the media, which will be available at the conclusion of the press conference. As Senior District Attorney Michael Allen said, all investigation questions should be directed to the District Attorney's Office. All search effort information will continue to come from the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. Right now, I'd like to take the time to thank the media for your constant coverage and not letting this nation forget Gannon. Our work is not done. Let's continue to work together to find him. Thank you for coming.
All right, it's Hot 97.
As to the charge of aggravated child abuse, verdict as to count 2. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty. So say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, this 5th day of July, 2011, signed foreperson.